Well, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about the fight against corruption. There's a lot of attention we pay to the EFCC, and rightly so. It's the leading agency as well as ICPC. But what is the role of state governments in all of this? We're turning our attention to Kano State and by extension other states. So if you don't stay in Kano, but you of course you stay in another state, this should also mean a lot to you. We have the chairman of the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, Barrister Muhui Magaji, joining us live from our Kano studio. Good morning, Mr. Magaji. Welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, Kayode.
The elephant in the room, naturally. A lot of people hear about the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, and they think, what do you do? Because there is the EFCC, there is the ICPC, and they wonder, how do these agencies work together? Is this just an agent of the state government, or when the state government wants to go after corrupt people, it sends you, and then what happens to the EFCC? What if the EFCC says, well, we need to go after the same corrupt individuals as well? So how does this dynamic work in order to further the fight against corruption rather than hinder it?
Okay, good morning once again. First of all, it's important we understand that we are operating a federal system of government in Nigeria, and that federal system of government clearly defined or separate line of duties among the tiers of government, that is the federal and the state governments. And at the same time, we have, yes, agencies at national level, and equally we have at subnational level. So there are certain things that, even if you have them at the federal level, you certainly need them at the subnational, at the state level. For instance, Section 15 of 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria enjoins state to abolish all form of corrupt practices. And in interpreting that provisions in AG Ondo versus AG Federation, the Supreme Court upholds the need for the state to join in and fight in the fight against corruption, and that is when you see the proliferation of the anti-corruption agencies in the state. So we are not only here to do the bidding of the state government, as some people may misconstrue it, but we are here to fight corruption at subnational level governments, which is very, very key and important, because states are semi-component and at least independent component of government, that it's a regional government that form the national, the 36 of the federation come together to form the national government, or Nigerian government, so to say. So the fight against corruption in Nigeria at subnational level is very, very necessary, and is a missing link in the fight against corruption. And alhamdulillah, we have it in Kano. We have gone far in the fight against corruption,
right?
And it is because of our activities that rekindle other states to join suit. And I'm happy to tell you this, that we have many states that follow suit and create the agencies like this one.
All right. Your personality, your office has not been without its controversies. I know you just came back from police detention recently. You've also had run-ins with previous governments. You have been one figure that has been quite controversial. Maybe you want to speak to the recent issue you had with the police. It's not the first time. We know you've had series of these issues. But what exactly is this about, and why has your person and that office been very controversial in Kano State?
Well, it's not controversial per se. How I understand it is, corruption is fighting back. When you fight corruption, corruption obviously fights back. And anti-corruption fights fair, but corruption fights dirty. So that is why you see what is happening. As to take you back, in 2021, it is July 5, 2021, I was just abruptly removed from the office, and I was asked to step down for 1 month so that investigation will be conducted. I was arrested, detained, and charged falsely, because it is after 2 years that we will realize the legal advice has been dispatched since October 2021 that ignored me, but nothing happened. They didn't listen to it. So also the recent activation of 3 different federal agencies against my person. So I quite agree with you that there are a lot of activities going around that is targeted toward my person. But fighting against corruption is not all about Muhi Magaji, especially at the subnational level. I happen to be in Hausa, that's what we said, the current Gwajin Defi. The current Gwajin Defi means I am the person, we can say that we are first setters anyway, because we are the one that started it. What is very, very necessary and fruitful. For instance, now, we were able to initiate investigation that culminated in criminal proceedings before various courts, high courts of Kano State and various criminal magistrate courts, and which we are confident that at the end of the day we can prove that case beyond reasonable as.
No, my question, Mr. Magaji, is why were you arrested? Why were you detained this time around by the police? What specific? I'm sure they didn't just invite you for drinks. Why were you detained?
Okay, yes. It's equally in relation to my duty as the chairman of anti-corruption agency. We happened to find out that there was an investigation that we carried out, and we realized that about 4 billion naira funds of Kano State government has been siphoned through different entities by a public officer. We investigated that public officer. We seized the properties in accordance with the laid down procedures and the provision of the law. Section 40 of the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission provides that adequate provision, and we did it. And we were able to, after investigation, charge the matter to court. So after the arraignment and the bail of the accused, then he come with a series of tactics to be able to snatch away the exhibit of the crime, and that is not allowed in law. So we take we employed measures that entails removing the property from where it is to a different safe place so that it will not be tampered with till when the court decide on the matter. I think that is what ignited them. Initially they filed a lot of actions before the various courts, including Federal High Court and State High Court. So when they cannot wait for the court processes and they know they cannot succeed in that case, they now activated the police and they come to arrest me. They came to my office, certainly. The officer was in my office and he asked me that he was asked from Abuja to come and arrest me. It was out of his own volition that he even decided to write a letter, just a letter to tell me that I must report to the zonal police headquarters in Kano right now. So when I asked him that, did they tell you that I'm a lawyer when you are coming to arrest me? He said yes. I said, okay, so can you tell me the offense that you people are accusing me? When you gave me the paper, I now saw abuse of power anyway. That is number one. Number two, they said mischief, and the number three, they said trespass. Okay, I now asked him, so abuse of power, I don't know, in my little knowledge of the law, I don't know when it becomes a crime under any court that, criminal courts or penal courts.
Here, just a moment.
But I don't know, but
if you can hear me, I know that you wanted to land on your thought. Maybe you land on it, but I wanted to throw in a bit of a question because of time. And that has to do with what are some of the big cases you're dealing with in Kano? That's on one hand. And the second hand is, how fair is the commission to all parties this time? Because most of the time when commissions or agencies are being run by governments of the state, people feel that it's tilted towards enemies of that particular government. That is the speculation. So I want you to speak to that.
Okay, imagine, like you asked me about how many cases that we have. I cannot give you up it, but I know there are high-profile cases that involve both incumbent arrangement, that is the incumbent government, because we're able to investigate series of cases that relate to the current government. And the recent case, which I can tell you, is the issue of Noble Med that we have concluded. We have issued our investigation, we are waiting for legal advice to come out. And secondly, we equally have 57.3 billion that is even before the court now. We have this one that is that I'm talking about, which we were able to seize properties worth 2 billion naira, trace about 700 million naira in account. This is not watch hunting. This is factual evidence. And when you tell me that the issue of recently, based on our recommendation, I have seen series of adjustment by the government. And we were able to investigate and process a lot of directors Even a commissioner was invited by this commission recently, a commissioner of higher education. He was in the commission and it was reported. So I don't think we are after anybody. But just ask yourself now, we as an anti-corruption agency, the creation of law that is fully backed by the statute, and now as the chairman, not because of my action, personal action, because of what the commission is doing, an agency from the federal government, so to say, because they come from Abuja. When they come from Abuja, they are here in Kano. So if imagine yourself that had it been the Kano State government solely rely on the police to implement this law, what do you think will happen? Because we are able to seize property.
Just a moment. So I didn't say mention all the cases. Who are this particular case you're talking about is still an allegation, by the way. You've done your investigation. It's still going to be a subject, or it's still a subject of adjudication. Who are these persons you're talking about?
Yes. Okay. When you say if we are to, that's why I'm trying to avoid mentioning names. But if it's an allegation, number one, we have investigated trace money from to Beirut change operators that was seized, siphoned from the government corpus. Like for instance, we have a 430 million naira that was removed under the pretense of purchasing legal license treated mosquito. The case is before the court and is against one former managing director of Kano Drug Management Agency. I can't remember the name of the person, but the matter is before the court. And this is, we have compassionate statement of the Beirut change operators. And unfortunately, all these issues that are going to court, you see, the same people that were investigating, were prosecuting, they will run away to Abuja, they will have their cover, and they will not appear before the court. But that do not change the fact that the matter is before the court, and we are doing all necessary legal processes to make sure that we bring them to before the court. We have this one that I told you against the former managing director of Kano Agricultural Supply Company, which we suspected that based on the concrete and cogent evidence that money has been appropriated to the company and it's been diverted to a personal account of Association of Compassionate Friends, which is a registered incorporated trustee that is not even allowed to carry out business, and a business name that he used in the name of his personal assistant, that is Limestone Processing Link. And all this money, they have been put in this entity, and they have transformed into various movable and immovable properties that the commission traced and now sees in accordance with the law. So this matter is equally before the court, and the suspect or the dependents in the case are trying hard to make sure that they compromise the investigation and the prosecution. And at the same time, we have this. I can hear you.
You can land on that thought. At the same time, you have.
Okay. Okay. This the same one that I told you about. 57.4 billion is a local government fund that has been around tipping. They will send money to local governments. They will carry them in cash. They will put them in an employee account, and that employee will change them into cash. So ask if at all we will just overlook all these things under the pretext that we are going against individuals, then certainly the whole concept of the fight against corruption is just a marriage and is a myth. Otherwise, this is what is necessary for us to progress as a nation. And I think the Kano State Anti-Corruption Commission has done well, and we have fared very well, and the Kano people are testimony to that.
Well, Mr. Magaji, you are scoring yourself. You wrote the exam and then you are marking the scripts naturally. You give yourself 100%. But
sometimes you have to blow your trumpet because
but it's
if
okay.
You
The people are
the people you are not in Kano, you might not know.
Well, the people are the ultimate judge, but that's understandable. But the question is also this. A lot of people have said your activities are geared towards witch hunting the former governor, the APC national chairman. And some have said, I think you referenced the fact that your recent detention was probably linked to him or the previous administration. So are you still on his heels? Are you still going after the former governor, the APC national chairman right now? Or these recent events have made you soft pedal, say, you know what, let's let bygones be bygones and look to other things? Are you still going after Mr. Ganduje?
I'm not going after anybody. We are just doing our job. You see, as I told you, when I say 15th July 2021, that is when former governor was in power. Dr. Abla Ganduri was the one that appointed me in 2015 and reappointed me.
And also removed you.
How much he has. Yes, you said?
And also removed you. Is the one that also removed.
Yes, so that is when we come to the answer of your question.
Right.
You ask yourself, interrogate yourself, why will he choose to remove me?
So yes or no, are you still prosecuting?
It's not unconnected.
Are you still prosecuting cases linked to him?
Investigation process.
Right.
You said?
Are you still prosecuting cases linked to him? Is what I'm trying to say. Or you're
yes, we are prosecuting him in person. Right. We have, in fact, we have started this investigation since 2001. I was made to be edged out of the office,
right.
And I passed through series of tribulations, including arrest, detention, and personal assault and humiliation.
Right.
And when I come back, it's not that Engineer Kabir Yusuf just asked me to come back. It is the National Industrial Court that make a decree and that make an order for me to be reinstated, and he supported and he respected that order. So now when we come back, we continue from where we stop. So we are not hunting anybody, but what I'm telling you is that we have a case like this 57.4 billion case that is before the court is against the former governor.
Mr.
We have a case against the former governor.
We have to anchor now.
Started.
Pardon me, you're proven to be a very dogged person. I mean, I will give that to you. And this is a conversation we'll follow naturally. We wish you the very best, more importantly, the people of Kano State the best. We'll be speaking with the chairman of the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, Barrister Muhoyi Magaji, who's been speaking to us about his work in office and some of his run-ins with the police and other politically exposed persons. Thank you for your time once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, we'll take a moment now, a breather, well-needed one. And when we return, we have some amazing women joining us on the show. You don't want to miss this conversation, so stay with us.